Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guests. I, as always, am your host, Alpha Animus, here at the Baron Mind channel. Apologies for yesterday. First day at a new job. I just wanted to make sure I was on time and achieved everything I needed to do that day. And I did. We will have a stream tomorrow night. We're going to do the third chapter, the Leon Kennedy chapter of Resident Evil 9 Requiem. That game's amazing. Certain people may be tired of hearing about it, but it really is. It combines all the best elements of basically every game that's come out since 7 or Biohazard, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, but as for today, you would be surprised who is supporting Iran, and no, not that side. And then Hasan Piker continues to have the worst take on all things. Why? I don't know. I'm assuming the Jews will be involved somehow, but let's get into it.
The U.S. killing Iranian leader Ayatollah Ali. First of all, super important to note, the approval of the U.S. killing Iranian leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, a terrorist, pedophile, rapist that massacred tens of thousands of his own people and hundreds of thousands of people across the world, approved 40%, disapproved 31%. All right, and a lot of other people still unsure. Now, this is pretty diabolical.
It's a lot, like 29% unsure, apparently.
By a guy named Mehdi Hassan Ahmed Mohammed Piker Cenk Unger that this is a deeply unpopular opinion, and that the American people desperately do not want to kill terrorist pedophiles that are threatening to murder us on a daily basis. So I was very surprised that it turns out that they were all actually wrong. And Americans aren't completely retarded like they think we are.
Like, I completely understand why the left is against this. I do. And I respect it. It's against whatever. Even though you have to admit, except for... Okay, I'll give Biden, except for the botched departure from Afghanistan, not a lot of military action, at least as far as I can recall. Who the hell knows what happened during a lot of the COVID and post-COVID era. But during all previous administrations, everything from Obama to Bush to Clinton, lots of bombings. I mean, while also being referred to as the deporter-in-chief, Obama was also known to have bombed more countries than even Bush, which I didn't believe it myself until I looked it up, and yes, and it's not close. But anyway, let's continue.
I guess all that.
Oh yeah, but like I said, I can still understand and respect the modern left winger being against Trump doing this. If you're right wing though. If you're actually, like I said, if you're paying attention and you're right-wing and you're surprised by this, I'm okay with you being against it 100%. But if you're surprised by this, then you haven't been paying attention at all. Trump has talked about this constantly since he first ran back in 2016. So just be honest with yourself, or do any bit of research and stop reacting to stupid shit like Candace Owens or the Hodge twins. Love the Hodge twins, but come on, guys. Y'all have been hanging out with Candace Owens too much, man. I'm just saying. It's not, and not everything can be the Jews. Come on. Even Nick Fuentes, avid Jew hater, even said, "Whoa, guys, easy."
Inbreeding comes with a side dish of projection. Now, Donald Trump made a pretty great tweet. We're going to have to talk about the evolution of this war and some of the tactics that we've been using, because they're honestly incredible. Definitely subscribe for all the research. I'm doing tons of it all the time. I'm monitoring the situation. All right? I'm talking to family in Israel all the time. I'm going to cover it, and I've already gotten so many death threats from people with names like...
And I, too, will be able to do much, much, much more research. Now that I've shifted to a new position at work, there will be much more research and actual effort put into the channal. I know.
Mohammed, Mehdi, and Hasan and stuff like that. It's a coincidence, but they're probably straight white Christians. But anyway, we have lots to talk about. We're going to talk about why retards needed to die. Donald Trump said, "I have just been informed that we have destroyed and sunk 9 Iranian naval ships, some of them relatively large and important." I love how he adds that shit. "We are going after the rest, and they will soon be floating at the bottom of the sea. Also, in a different attack, we largely destroyed their naval headquarters."
I'd love how he loves that in the middle of a statement, Donald Trump will just jack himself off for no reason, just to be like, 9 Iranian naval ships, some of them large and relatively important. Like, come on.
Their navy is doing very well. Oh my God, bro is still cracking jokes.
Love him or hate him, it is endlessly entertaining.
Dismantling our enemy. It's kind of insane. This retard Khomeini gave his life for death to America, only to get absolutely obliterated. Now, heartbreakingly, and unfortunately, tragedy does strike. CENTCOM update. Apparently, 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action, and 5 are seriously wounded as part of Operation Epic Fury. Several others sustained minor shrapnel injuries and concussions, and are still in the process of being returned to duty. Major combat operations continue. Our response effort is ongoing. Situation is fluid. So out of respect for their families, we will withhold additional information, including identities of fallen warriors, until 24 hours after the next of kin have been notified. God rest their souls. They died and fell, making this world a better place. Honestly, heartbreaking stuff. Now, apparently, these were some of the strikes. Holy shit, dude. Apparently, this is the strike that killed 3 of our soldiers.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to talk about how this actually.
And you have to realize a lot of and all the casualties. And he might go over it in this video. I'm not 100% sure. I know he's got over it, but a lot of the casualties that have happened as a result of the strike on Iran is Iran literally firing off just a ridiculous amount of missiles randomly, pretty much, in response. There's this one. And I wouldn't have believed it if I haven't seen it, and I hope he shows it in this. If not, I'll see if I can find it. But they literally blow up their own school. You can see, like, you know how there's smoke trails. You can see that the rocket lifts up from Iran and lands right back on it. Unfortunately, it's a school. If it wasn't so cartoonish, and I mean, it is still a tragedy, but it's damn cartoonish. So I chuckled a little to myself. But yeah, they've literally bombed themselves. All of these horrible things that you are hearing that Trump or Israel have bombed by mistake, it's not true. You have to understand. And look, I don't glaze Israel, but I will say that their strikes are very accurate. They got someone in his apartment and literally only killed him in that whole building. They may have evacuated the rest of the building, but they literally shot a missile into a dude's living room. It's crazy. So to think that they would accidentally blow up a school or anything like that, why? I mean, honestly, who the hell knows? But hey, what's going on, Shapeshifter?
Happened, where it happened, and why it happened the way it did. Now, the crazy update is apparently the U.S. official told Al Jazeera's News the 3 American soldiers were killed. They died from an Iranian missile attack in Kuwait. That's right. It's not like they attacked our ships. It's not like they were operating in self-defense. It's not like they attacked our soldiers that were fighting with them or in our ships and military. They literally attacked Kuwait. As I mentioned, I really think people are waking up and realizing that we're dealing with like an actual modern day death cult. They were.
Yeah, and it really is. They are literally, and they're just bombing all the countries that surround them. I think they bombed Saudi Arabia, Qatar. I hope Tucker Carlson's okay. Kuwait. For those of you that don't know, Tucker Carlson just bought a house in Qatar. That man, he is the peak of corrupt. I swear.
Death. In fact, some of the extremists of the religion frankly believe that
Qatar, however you say it,
in the midst of killing, so that they could reach the highest status of heaven, where they get to rape children for eternity in heaven or something. Just the fact that they're attacking random countries is absolutely unbelievable stuff. In fact, they've been doing other war crimes during this war, right? I don't see any of the international law police crying about this one. They are using scattershot missiles, okay? These are ballistic missiles with cluster munitions, deliberately aiming to maximize Israeli deaths, right? This literally just struck Jerusalem about an hour ago. And these are cluster missiles aiming at cities directly.
Yeah.
That's insane. Most of them were knocked out of the sky. Some of them did make impact. Thank God, from what I understand, no one was killed. But this is literally cluster missiles aimed at cities to maximize civilian casualties.
That's crazy.
This is a war crime. All right, but again, no one cares. Where's the international law police when they fired cluster missiles at civilians? No one gives a shit. They did strike Jerusalem, as you can see. However, I think, thank God, no one was killed.
Yeah, I think that was like one of two or three that actually hit.
And of course, let's talk about the retards. The retards on our shores, the communists that quite literally we need to get rid of. Right? We need to excise them from public life.
Look, and I will never, like, I understand not liking Israel 100%. I'm not a big fan of Netanyahu. Not anti-Israel per se, but I really don't like some of the things that Netanyahu has done. I understand not liking Trump, but rooting for people that want everyone dead, not just the left or right, is ridiculous. Because look, if you wake up and Donald Trump directly affects your opinion, whether you're for or against him, if you are all for something because he's all for something, or if you're all for something because he's against something, you are not a serious person. I don't care. You should be able to form a thought without knowing what that person, what that man, whoever it is, even if it's not Donald Trump, what they think about things. Come up with your own conclusions. And yes, everything that we watch and everything that we do kind of shapes our opinion on things. But most people these days only love or hate something based on whether or not Donald Trump loves or hates said thing. You cannot root for people who are objectively trying to kill as much as they can just because. His intention in this place, whether it be for the actual liberation, or if it's just about oil, or if it's just about screwing over Russia and China, I don't care. I don't. It's objectively a good thing. Now, he has to stick the landing. He has to make sure that it doesn't go the way that Afghanistan went and all that, and we're still waiting to see as far as Venezuela goes, and it's not something that we might even know how it goes by the end of his term. I hope so, because I do not want any prolonged engagements in any of these things. People are exhausted. But, again, Iran was killing its people in scores. More people died in a weekend than died in Palestine over the last, 10 years. Yo, what's good, Evil Sizer?
Peacefully and legally, of course. So, this is a libtard in America.
I'm a 10th Mountain Division infantry combat veteran here to say go, Iran, go. This dumb orange motherfucker's trying to cancel elections. He said he can do so if we're in war, and he's trying to do that, and if he can't...
He never said that.
Someone's going to cancel his ass.
I've never heard anything about him saying that.
This dude is rooting for Iran to murder our soldiers because Donald Trump...
If someone can find a clip of Donald Trump saying that he can cancel elections if he starts a war, please send that to me. I haven't seen it, and this is all I watch and listen to most of the day. I spend about half the day doing this and half the day listening to music and comedy things just to decompress from listening to this shit. So, please, let me know.
Trump is trying to get us into a war that's going to last for 4 years and cancel elections. You're retarded. This isn't happening. It's unbelievable levels of delusion, and also, this is treason. Quite literally treason. Literally rooting and fighting on behalf of the Iranians that are trying to kill our soldiers. And he's not alone. Here's a
and like I said, if you're rooting for the Iranians who are fighting for their own freedom, yay, sure. But rooting for rooting for the dictator that just died, and the people who support him. I mean, come on.
Binary LGBTQ activists saying that someone needs to poison Trump's food.
So apparently the reason why Trump eats so much McDonald's is because he's afraid of being poisoned, and he believes that it's nearly impossible for him to be poisoned with McDonald's food because it's fast food. It is incredibly easy to poison McDonald's food. I've seen it done before. I worked for McDonald's for over 10 years. And
Yeah.
Okay. She knows how easy it is to poison McDonald's food because she worked there for 10 years. This person is unhinged. What? I mean, yes, everything's easy to poison, but knowing whether or not it's going to go specifically to one person and being in a position to where you can poison that specific item, a little more difficult unless you have mass casualties. But from the look of this person, I don't know. It's just, I've never seen dead eyes bleed into the forehead here. This is crazy.
The FBI needs to investigate your.
This looks like, what's the name of the guy who was behind Sauron on Lord of the Rings, Two Towers? That's what this person looks like if that person had a daughter.
Seacot, okay? What the shit are we dealing with? We're dealing with retards in our own borders, which we'll get to later. There was just a horrible Islamist terrorist attack in Texas. And there's so many of these. Leachy Brooks Fox works at the U.S. Army, according to Facebook. In response to Trump killing Khomeini, she says she hopes someone will return the favor, a.k.a. kill Trump. Right? We have people, allegedly, part of the United States Army.
Like, this shit's been going on forever. And everyone's, like, when Madonna said that she's dreamed about blowing up the White House while she's at a protest in D.C. back in, I think that was 2016. People were like, oh, come on, Madonna's not going to bomb the White House. Nah, but her crazy-ass fans will.
Directly saying she's hoping that someone will kill Trump. What are we doing? Literally, this is insane. Like,
that person's not in the military.
They're fighting for Khomeini, a terrorist pedophile that murdered, massacred tens of thousands of his own people, as well as hundreds of thousands of people around him.
Yeah.
From Syria to Israel to America to et cetera, it doesn't stop. They bombed 9...
And I really think, like, the last number that I heard that Khomeini killed before, the last number I heard, it was over 12,000. And that was, like I said, just within a couple of weeks.
Countries over the last 24 hours, most of whom had nothing to do with this at all, like the United Arab Emirates and Qatar and Saudi Arabia. They just bombed them because they want to maximize death because they're an evil death cult, right? So this is the Iranian women celebrating their freedom, and this is the American women protesting the Iranian women's freedom. You cannot make this up.
Yeah,
right?
that part's insane.
Massive issue on our own front.
Videos coming directly from Iran, and it's been confirmed that they're from Iran, of them celebrating their freedom after the Ayatollah was taken out, and then American women protesting the very same fact. You can't make this shit up. Again, you can protest Trump's actions, you can protest all this other stuff, but being pro killing a terrorist dictator, a confirmed terrorist dictator, this isn't just someone that we don't like. All right, fascinating.
Aside from migration, we have an entire community of retarded communist Karens that quite literally need to be stopped. Oh my, they need husbands. They need husbands immediately. One husband for each of them. I don't know. Maybe the stronger men can have 2 wives each. We got to take these people off the streets. This is diabolical. Dog, we have to objectively and critically analyze the 19th Amendment and see what we can do about this, because this is diabolical. we don't need to live like this among these people.
I don't agree with that.
How am I supposed to cope with them? Meanwhile, the Washington Post...
However, mental health
best
is important.
Humanized Khomeini, right? With his bushy white beard and easy smile, Ayatollah Khomeini cut a more avuncular figure in public than his perpetually scowling but much more revered mentor. Excuse me, what? This guy was a terrorist pedophile. He massacred tens of thousands. He literally has a quote saying that virgin female prisoners should be raped before execution so they don't go to heaven. They're describing him like he's...
Yeah, like that's insane. That they would grape virgin prisoners so they don't go to heaven. wow. Like there's monstrous, there's torturing and hurting people on this plane, but but continuing your torture of a person over to the next theoretical plane of existence it's diabolical, man.
Santa Claus in the Washington Post. What are we doing? Anyway, this is Patrick Bet-David. He is an Iranian. He went on to the news to talk about how the Iranians actually feel about this.
I like Patrick Bet-David.
By people named Mohammed and Hasan and Mehdi and Ahmed.
Patrick Bet-David is quite based.
This is a horrible, deeply unpopular thing, and the people of Iran are suffering at the hands of America. But what do the Iranians actually think?
Patrick Bet-David joins us now. Patrick, what an amazing guest to have today. I want to start with this. I've been watching.
This is someone who came to this country with nothing as an immigrant.
80% of Iranians inside of the country are opposed to this regime. One, how do you know that?
Now we're getting ourselves
Now he's a
really
millionaire.
Nice, healthy ally over there by just killing some retards that are trying to kill us. This is the greatest deal ever made.
And then, what will these 80% do now that President Trump has taken this action? He said, now it's up to you. They don't have guns. Can they and will they fight for their freedom?
Rachel, great to be with you this morning. The only people that support the IRGC is actually the extremists of IRGC and white liberal women in America. You see women
What?
around the world.
Literally, it's Islamic terrorists and fat Karens in California with nose rings. You cannot make this up.
And Iranians celebrating. The numbers we've seen is a low of 71% to a high of 89% that do not want to see what's happening in Iran right now. They're sick of it. They want to be free. What happens next is the way U.S. has done what they've done. The credit goes to their leadership team, what they've done. But, Rachel, here's what's interesting. Imagine you're by yourself right now. You all of a sudden get attacked at 8:15 in the morning. Two countries known for having strong military, you know, Iran and U.S. and Israel, attack you, then all of a sudden you start attacking your allies at a moment that you need allies. I mean,
that's right.
It is absolutely double done what they're doing.
And Iran decides instead of actually striking America, they're going to hit Kuwait, which is where we actually lost troops, and every other country, and Oman, and Dubai.
In Iran right now, they don't know how to negotiate. They thought they can just say, look.
Yeah, because they're a death cult.
Let's give you, no, we're not going to do anything with nuclear for 3 years. Let's just wait for you to be out and somebody else is going to come in and we'll negotiate with them. And every once in a while in your life, you face somebody that when they threaten you, they're not kidding. They're serious.
I love shit like this. Okay, so Cenk Uygur, giant fat lard, who I used to have a lot of respect for and admiration for during my younger years. Put something up on X, said, who has done more damage to the world? Al Khamenei or Benjamin Netanyahu? And overwhelming 71.1% to 28.9% said Khamenei clearly has done more damage to the world. Look, you can not like Netanyahu, but it's not even close, man.
When they say, if you don't do this, I will hit you. I will attack you.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to.
Look, we gave them an off-ramp. They didn't take it. That's a skill issue.
Do anything. You don't do that with Trump and his administration.
You know, I do think it's fascinating how the build-up to all of this, right? The allies that the Trump administration built in the Gulf, among the Gulf region countries.
And again, sorry. Liberal women are holding up portraits of fallen Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, walking past Trump Tower in New York City. Are you serious? Is this the liberals' 2026 campaign platform? There are no boots on the ground, as far as I'm aware. Again, it's not genocide. The people committing genocide is the Iranians, who are firing missiles willy-nilly, randomly, at all the surrounding countries. Mostly Muslim countries. A couple have hit Israel. But they're hitting other Muslims. This is insanity.
Countries The
And a bunch of
plane,
bored
the
white people in
intel,
New
the
York,
Mossad,
and
CIA,
some other
the
races, sure,
timing of the hit, all of that, and also kind of the weak response
are
of the
protesting,
Iranians makes me
holding
think
up pictures
this might
of
be-
Al
Well, the
Khamenei.
weak response
Ali
of the
Khamenei.
Iranians is partially because we hit them so hard so fast that like we took out all of their leadership in an instant. We also took out their half their ballistic missiles in an instant. They also just lost a
I
war
love this.
from
And just like
6
this,
months
the
ago.
No Kings
Like,
people are
it's-
upset a
it's
dictator was
real.
removed.
We own the skies above their country, bro.
Be a few week war
Oh
that
my
President
God.
Trump will come out on
Paper
the other side.
tiger.
I want to talk about Trump, but before that, again, I want to ask you, what happens inside of the country? Will it be the Shah? Will somebody arise in the opposition movement from inside? What is your prediction? I know you follow this very closely.
Yeah, that's something that none of us know. Obviously, the Mohammad Reza Pahlavi is having a lot of momentum right now. Every time he posts, he gets millions of views. So one has to say there's credibility behind the fact that he's getting that kind of momentum of people paying attention to what he has to say. I've been always critical about the fact that he hasn't moved urgently. I've always been critical, and I've even asked him on 2 different occasions, do you want this job or not? And he says, why would I leave a country of freedom in America to go back? But having said that, I got to give him credit for the last 2 months, 6 weeks, he's been playing offense like never before, and it's actually a very good thing. On the other hand, I don't know who's going to take over because I don't know who has strong relationship with the U.S. I don't know who's going to be able to play ball, to want to do diplomacy and deal with all these guys. I mean, it's not like you're going into a place that's soft. These are extremists. It's not like they're going to disappear the next day.
Yeah.
They're still going to be around. And then at the same time, he hasn't been there 47, 48 years. There may be some people in Iran that may want to vote for someone else. But the reality of it is, just like you, with where you're at, you said something very important a couple days ago when you said every single time the president mentions, the VP of Venezuela, the 5 points was lost in Florida, you have to realize there's some names that you mention that it hurts the chances. Iranians don't like a lot of these names, but if we have an immediate election in Iran where they can pick and choose somebody that's a fair player, then Iranians can be free again.
I have 2 seconds left, but I know you follow leadership. What do you think this does for President Trump's reputation and his legacy if this is successful?
Bro, his legacy, dude, he will go down as one of the most beloved figures. Maybe not among liberal Karens, but among everyone that suffered at the hands of Iran, for sure.
And it's
Yeah, worldwide, especially in these regions, he will be
we
loved,
don't know what's going to happen inside and how that's going to shake out, and that's always
regardless
volatile.
of his intent.
But what's your take on this move? Because was bold and courageous in a lot of ways.
One, history books are going to write about this, and many of us will be able to say we were living during this time, but maybe they need to put a little spot in this place called South Dakota. They call it Mount Rushmore because during the last 100 years,
damn!
I don't know a president that's done what he's done, and you got to give him credit for it.
Sheesh,
Yeah.
that is big praise. Oh my God, dude! People don't recognize exactly how massive this is. I think people think
It
this
is pretty
just
massive.
Another El Presidente. This is a supreme leader. He counts as 2 El Presidentes. Now the Iranian leadership got so humiliated.
And for those of you who don't know, he's counting 1 El Presidente every month so far for 2026. It started off with, was it Maduro in in January? Now we've got the Ayatollah in February, and yada yada yada. People are saying that by April we will have Keir Starmer from UK. Because he's also going down. He's always gone against the people who voted for him and the rest of the country. He's thrown that country into chaos. But anyway, continue.
They are begging Trump to negotiate. Now, after they wiped out the entire leadership, now they want to negotiate.
Just got a message from a senior White House official who tells Fox News
Hey, thanks for the follow.
Potential leadership in Iran has indicated they want to talk, and eventually he will talk.
Nah, it's okay, but I appreciate the engagement.
He will talk.
Operation Epic Fury continues unabated.
Diabolical. Oh, you want to talk? We'll talk. Give me a week. I still have to hit a couple more targets. It's insane.
Yeah,
Now, one of
I've
the
got
giant
things to
stories
do.
That's been going on recently, which is absolutely wild, is a death toll at girls' school hit and strikes rises to 148. CNN says.
Oh, is this? Yeah, I think this is it.
Damanhouri. That's right. So Karim El Damanhouri publishes an article on CNN about how children are dying because the school was hit, which is tragic, absolutely tragic, and 148 girls died in this girls' school. These children died for Trump's greed and literally nothing else, says retard on Twitter. Now, Drop Site News, which is one of these leftist news aggregators, the death toll in the girls' primary school in Minab has risen to 148 dead, 95 wounded. Iranian state media reported. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's being reported now that it's over 168.
The worst single atrocity committed directly by the U.S. since Vietnam. All right, so Iran blames Israel. The leftists blame the U.S., which is pretty insane. Except the Iranian regime confessed that actually no, this is in the original Farsi, all right, and this is in a translation. The IRGC aerospace missile hits a school in Manab County province. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, that's the IRGC, announced that this was an inadvertent mistake and that serious action will be taken for those responsible for this action. As you can see, people are retarded.
They hit themselves.
As you can see, this was a misfired Iranian missile. They blew up their own school, and they immediately decided to blame it on, the United States, the great Satan. All right, so again, everyone falls for this shit. They push this garbage. The single greatest atrocity committed by the U.S., their missile blew up their own kids, all right? What are we doing here? Like, these are actual terrorist monsters, and everyone's running defense for them.
Sorry, real quick, posting
We have...
the IRGC already. Anyway, just dunking on the Krasensteins. Anyway, so moving on. So that's one thing. People, and this is the theme of the show today, people supporting things that are indefensible. Moving on to Hasan Diddy Bin Laden Piker, the communist with a Gucci bag. Let's get into this.
I have to talk about, in my opinion, one of the scariest stories of the day, though. Because we all knew that this was going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is Austin to Texas. 3 dead, 14 injured,
opinion,
and potential.
Breaking.
Let's face it, it's just terrorism.
In Austin, Texas, that left 3 dead and 14 injured as potential terrorism. This was really scary. So this was at a bar in Texas. I obviously can't show you the footage, but we do have footage. Obviously, it was a nightmare. Guy goes in, blasts a bunch of people, 3 dead, 14 injured. That's insane. Now, Austin bar mass shooter possibly motivated by Iran attacks. Why would we think that? Quran found in car. FBI eyes...
I don't care about the Quran being found in his car, but, I mean, come on.
Terrorism after 2 killed, 14 injured, and a third eventually died. Breaking, the FBI confirms last night Austin mass shooting was an act of terrorism. I see. Wow. The suspect is Ndiaga Diagne. He was born in Senegal, living in Texas. A Quran found in his car.
Yeah, there's a lot of people from Senegal.
Born in Senegal. Wow. It's crazy
moving to America.
Let's wait for confirmed details before jumping to conclusions. It's confirmed. Source? Literally the media. Every bit of the media. Austin bar mass shooter possibly motivated by Iran attacks. Quran found in his car. FBI eyes terrorism. Like, dude, are we serious? This is insane. Austin bar mass shooter possibly motivated by Iran attacks. Quran found it in car as FBI eyes terrorism.
For those of you, because I had to look it up,
all right, we get it.
Senegal is right here in Africa.
Country. They want to kill us. This is the oldest news in the universe,
West Coast.
But people like closing their eyes and making believe that it's not going to be here, it's not going to affect us. It's like, just because they're part of a death cult that literally wants to massacre us all the time and are looking for an excuse to do so, it doesn't mean that there's actually going to be any harm by importing foreigners with ideology that's fucked up. And that's definitely not going to affect us at all. What are you talking about? The Austin, Texas mass shooter is a migrant from West African nation Senegal, 53 years old, naturalized citizen, Islamic Quran found in his car. Another third worlder. The FBI believes terrorism related, several dead. over a dozen injured. Yeah, so Senegal. That's where it is. I can't show you the footage. It's too hard, man. It's brutal. Yeah, so 95% Muslim country, by the way, in Senegal. So, again, another instance of why the fuck was he here? Another instance of maybe we shouldn't import third worlders with an ideology that involves them literally wanting to kill us. I know this is a controversial take, but maybe perhaps we shouldn't do this. All right, so let's hear some updates on this Senegalese Islamic terrorist that just murdered a bunch of people.
Digging deeper into that mass shooting in Austin, Texas with some brand new information. I had mentioned before, 3 people killed. Fox confirmed the shooter who police killed was a naturalized citizen from Senegal. Sources are now telling...
Hot take, illegal immigration is bad, but legal immigration is a problem too.
Fox, the shooter was wearing clothing that said Allah on it, and he had on an undershirt with an Iranian flag on it. The FBI has just announced they are investigating this as a possible act of terrorism. They said maybe, probably, could be. They're investigating it as such now.
It might be Islamic terrorism. It's just a guy with the Allah written on his shirt and a Quran found in his car killing people right after we struck Khomeini in Iran. Well, anyway, this is the guy. Fox obtains photo of the Texas mass shooter.
Property of Allah.
Clearly a straight white Christian. Clearly a Zionist. This is a Hasidic Jew. For those.
And the reason he says that is because for several, mostly Muslim, but also some Hispanic people who have committed acts of violence in public, they've been listed as Caucasian males. So it's a running gag on the Nux channel.
That are unaware, clearly, as you can see from this photo, there is no other interpretation. Property of Allah, it says on his shirt. Wow. So yeah, no, another classic example of how legal immigration is not a problem. That's right. He legally came from the third world with an ideology that directly wants to kill all of us. This is a huge W, guys. Now again, every single illegal immigrant needs to leave just on virtue of the fact that our country has borders and laws. Every single one of them needs to get deported without an exception, without an exaggeration. Every single one of them. Get the fuck out of our country. We have a country, we have borders. Leave. Literally leave. And if you think that no one's illegal on stolen land and you think that borders are fake, well, that's great. Because technically, if borders aren't real, then there's no such thing as deportation. All right, we're just moving you to another landmass. Okay, all right, you were not getting deported. You are being relocated. Okay, shut the fuck up. Get on the trebuchet. We're launching you to Mexico. All right, we don't need to deal with this shit. All right, and that's illegal immigrants. In regards to legal immigrants, why are we importing people with ideologies that want to kill us? Like, we should only be importing people that make our country better. We shouldn't even have the ideology whatsoever of importing people that directly have ideologies that want to kill us. Right? This is the Austin, Texas mass shooter. Nadiaga Diagne. Property of Allah. Okay? Alright? This straight white Christian male. Another classic example. Alright? To quote Joe Biden, our former senile president, this is what he had to say.
We won't ignore what our intelligence agencies have determined to be the most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today. White supremacy is terrorism.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, former President Biden. I don't remember what you did when you were in office, but then again, neither do you. So yeah, anyway, obviously another classic example of how white people are the greatest threat to America. It's crazy that we need to live like this, bro. So this is breaking news. Reported Islamist shooter in Texas has been identified, 53-year-old Nadiaga Diagne.
53, Jesus.
Property of Allah shirt during the terrorist attack, and they got him. As you can see, they actually got him. Good. We didn't need to get here. We didn't need to get to this point. Obviously, it's good they got him. It's good they eliminated this fucker. But we did not need to get to this point. Now, of course, this is heartbreaking for multiple reasons. Not only are there victims to this terrorist attack, but also Hasan Piker is having the worst day of his life.
What?
Hasan
Piker's about to have the worst take ever.
Innocent people murdered by an Islamic terrorist attack on American soil, inspired by the fact that we decided to murder a terrorist dictator that killed tons of our people. With "come on, man." Truly moving and beautiful, heartfelt words. Now, the reason why he's saying "come on, man" is because he believes this is a secret Jewish American false flag attack, where this guy, who is clearly the most Jewish, Israeli, Christian, white nationalist I've ever seen in my entire life, trying to push forward a war against Iran or something. Clearly, it's a false flag. And the reason why I say that is because he made this tweet. If there's any terrorism that happens on U.S. soil now, you will never be able to convince me, nor millions of other Americans, speak for yourself, sir, not everyone's as retarded as you are, that it wasn't an Israel and America conducting it together to rally the masses to support an insanely unpopular war. As I've shown you already, this is not an insanely unpopular war. That's one. Two, it's not really a war. It's more like taking out the trash. All right, this is chemotherapy. But we gotta obliterate a couple of cancer cells before they metastasize. All right, this is some chemo. Definitely very important to be done. And thank God we killed the rat. Now we have a couple more rats that we need to exterminate. We don't want the bubonic plague coming back. All right. We're also trying to save animals. All right. We know that you guys are not scared of death or something, but you are scared of dogs. And I mean, you love goats. A little too much, some would say.
It is crazy how they're talking about restricting dogs to inside only in New York because Muslims don't like dogs. It sounds silly because it is, but not for the reason that it sounds silly.
We're not going to get involved into that at this point. So Hasan Piker says, come on, man, over here, because he thinks it's a false flag attack. He thinks this fucker is an actual secret white supremacist Nazi, a Jew. I love this guy. Hasan's amazing. It's unbelievable. He's the largest leftist political streamer. It's truly incredible. It's a secret Jewish white supremacist Israeli American Nazi that is working on behalf of the Zionists to murder random Americans in Texas to convince people to fight in the Middle East. Are you retarded? That was a trick question. The answer is yes. It's unbelievable that we need to live like this. Okay, it's unbelievable that we needed to import all these retards into our country that are violent, that one is dead, quite literally. And it's also retarded that we need to deal with this. It's also retarded that this is the largest leftist streamer in America. A open, devout communist that's pro-radical China and Islam and directly wants our people to die. Completely and utterly supporting terrorism on every single day. This is not a condemnation, by the way, because he thinks that this was secretly the Jews. I don't actually think he is that dumb to believe so, but that's what he's gonna say. You know, it's insane that we need to live like this at all. So Congressman Randy Fine said a Muslim terrorist had killed Americans again, this time in Austin, and they wonder why I choose dogs. Mass deportations now. All right, now the reason why I bring up Randy Fine is because there was recently a whole debate where certain Palestinian activists in New York were trying to ban dogs. No, I'm not kidding, right? Because dogs are unclean according to Islam. So they were trying to ban dogs from New York, because as we know, New York is now a radical Islamist caliphate or some shit. I don't know. So Randy Fine made a really viral tweet saying, if I had to choose between the Muslims and the dogs, I know what I would choose, right? And he's completely right. We don't need to import people into our country that want to change our way of life, including end our life. That's just another thing that I'm not a fan of also in general. So this is what he had to say. And the crazy thing is, apparently, this retard, this terrorist, by the way, is responding to his tweets. Or was, rather. They found this Nindiaga Diagne's old Twitter account. All right? So, this is an old Congressman Randy Fine tweet saying, when someone yells, praise Jesus, and a Christian is experiencing joy. When someone yells, Baruch Hashem, a Jew is doing the same. When someone yells, Allahu Akbar, there's a real chance someone's about to get killed. It's not Islamophobic to say this, it's true. Glib, don't get me wrong, but a little bit on the nose. This guy, Diagne says, so say someone whose holy book says Jesus Christ is being burned in hell and is...
I mean, that is true. And it's a sad fact, but it is true. I'm not going to lie, part of it might be due to South Park, but also because of actual events.
Jesus and his mother, Lamau, he ended up shooting up a bar in Texas and murdered 3 people and injured another 14. Also, what he's referring to is the Talmud, a Jewish collection of debates between rabbis. And this is not a correct quote whatsoever, because it does not say there in any place ostensibly that Jesus Christ is burning in hell. This is actually a misquote that everyone misquotes about a Roman guy talking to a Roman necromancer, where the Roman necromancer said to the Roman general that Jesus wasn't burning in hell. All right, that is the Talmud quote. The Talmud quotes a guy who spoke to a Roman necromancer that said that. The Talmud's position is that Jesus is in heaven, because the Talmud explicitly states that everyone goes to heaven, except for like 5 exceptions that are listed in the Old Testament. So again, not only is it a lie and it's just pushing the random fake news bullshit, but also this guy ended up shooting up a bar. All right, and he ended up proving Randy Fine correct here, even though we tried to shut him down. Now, not only that, but this dude has a history of tweeting. So this is a tweet described Donald Trump in 1 word: a shameless clown. That's 3 words. What's the most dangerous enemy of the United States? Is it Russia, Islam,
That's
then
3
China,
words, moving on.
etc.? So funny, Islam is considered an enemy of America because Jesus, who came out of a vagina, can never be God. Just read Mark, John. Your lies, propaganda, insults, and smear will not stop Islam. Islam is here to save you in this world and hereafter. So I love how this dude has like one tweet saying, why would you like the Jews? The Jews don't think Jesus Christ is the Messiah. And then it's like, Jesus Christ was filth, he's terrible. That's what this guy's saying. It's unbelievable that we need to deal with this shit. All right, so we're importing these retards into our country. They hate us quite literally. Like let's be honest. You think this guy talking about how Islam is here to save you in this world and thereafter, right? You really think that this retard is going
Not
to
a big
make
fan of this
America
lady.
a better place? All right, now this is Valentina Gomez. She's running for Congress, I think, in Texas. Basically, this is her saying that we don't want Islam in our schools. The response was just post your address, meaning I'm going to come and kill you, right? Like, this,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable that we have these
This stuff is
people
posted
out there
everywhere.
in the wild doing shit,
Not just by this
and then
guy.
They end up shooting people. Right, so this is Laura Loomer saying, fuck Candace Owens, this woman should be in her basement, etc., blah, blah, blah. And this terrorist responds with, shut the fuck up, you fucking Israel first whore, move to Israel, you fucking bitch.
Wow.
And then he shot up a bar.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like Laura Loomer either, but
That this is insane.
not for this statement.
These are the people that you're fighting with on Twitter. People that come into our country and are just insane. Apparently, this person was following Tucker Carlson on Twitter, which is wild.
Imagine.
This is just a retard.
But then again, I follow a bunch of people I don't like or agree with just to see what they'll say.
The Islamic Revolution is eternal and here to stay until the end of time. You Zionists and Islamophobes can be angry all you want, but you can't do a damn thing about it, no matter what. Right? So here we have retards calling Islamophobic and then shooting up a bar. Like, can we not acknowledge for a second how insane this is? These are the retards on Twitter you're fighting with. Like, people that we imported. Now, here's a video from October 2023. Never forget. Unvetted males from Senegal crossing the U.S. border in Texas. Military age. No families.
How you doing? Where are you from? Senegal. Where are you going? New York. Thank you, sir. You? Senegal. Where are you going? Thank you. Where are you from? Where are you going? North Carolina. Thank you, sir. You? Where are you from? Senegalese. Where are you going? Thank you, sir. Where are you from? Where are you going? Thank you. Where are you going? New York. From where? Senegal? Thank you. Where are you from?
You get the idea.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly unvetted, crossing the border.
That's
undivided.
absolutely crazy.
We don't know who they are. These are all Islamists. Well, 95% of them are Islamists. We have no idea who they are. They're in our country. They hate our way of life. They hate our religion. They hate everything about us, quite literally. I mean, let's be real. And there they are, because they want free shit. They're probably on welfare right now, taking money from taxpayers. I'm not even exaggerating. It's insane that we let this happen, and we let our country get raped like this. Now, that is one terrorist attack that happened today. Breaking, multiple emergency crews are responding to a mass stabbing with gunfire. Reporting on the I-495 near Washington, D.C., 4 people stabbed on the Beltway. Suspect subdued. For those of you keeping track, more Americans were murdered in America since this war started than American soldiers on the battlefield. I hope you're aware of how insane it is.
Story I might do for tomorrow. Apparently, in the new God of War series, while the casting looks really good, it's being said that Kratos will be replaced with his wife. That's right, the dead one from the games. Oh wait. Oh no, in the spin-off game. I mean, okay, never mind. I misread. I mean, that could be cool. As long as she's not like saving Kratos, maybe it's something she did while he was away or a prequel or something. I could be okay with that. I'm saying, as long as the gameplay's good and the story doesn't beat you over the head with the message, I could be down with this.
That yes, there are these radical.
But I'm still going to do the story tomorrow.
In our countries that we let in because we have a death wish and because we had suicidal empathy under every single fucking blue president ever. That we let them in, they come in, and now they're going to kill us. and there's nothing we can do about it. We have to live with these people, and they're going to breed, and they're going to have children that are also going to have their ideology, and we're going to need to deal with this shit. Unless we don't. Unless we actually do something. We need to figure this shit out. We need to get them out, bro. but it's Islamophobic to notice. I'm not allowed to notice this. Mass stabbing occurred right outside of Washington, D.C. Dude, this is crazy. Absolute insane world, and they don't give a shit who they're stabbing.
That's horrible. Yeah, just stabbing random people.
Service 495 southbound prior to Little River Turnpike are getting multiple calls of a male subject stabbing several people on 95. It started out as a property damage crash, and now he's stabbing people with a knife. Car 70 Bravo, you direct.
I'm not gonna lie. Only in the Western world can you find someone on a highway where people are in cars stabbing multiple people.
Washington, D.C. Muslim terrorism is back in full force. Dude, it's never left.
Run him over.
Okay, let's be honest for a second. It's just been kind of on the low down. All right. In fact, this is Dearborn Henry Ford Community College professor Ali Akbar Shadid. This is a real guy. All right. This is a professor in a college in Michigan.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To God we belong, and to Him we shall return. The pure soul of Sayyid Ali Khamenei.
The pure soul of Khamenei. You know, the terrorist pedophile?
I mean, he is pure. It's just pure evil.
As a martyr, like Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and joined his grandfathers and all of the prophets and the best of prophets. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
You see, it's good he's mentioning all these guys because they are actually all in the same place. But that's not having sex with underage women for eternity in heaven.
And his progeny, the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. May Allah raise their ranks in paradise and shower them with mercy.
I love how they get ranks in paradise. All right, a low-rank martyr only gets like a couple of underage women that look like Frogan. A high-rank martyr, they get like slightly younger underage women.
However, Trump did a huge mistake by killing our beloved leader, Sayyid Ali Khamenei.
Our leader? What, our leader?
Our leader, okay.
Are you insane? We have a professor in Michigan calling Khamenei our leader? Dog, get these people out! Get them out! Deport! We need to figure this shit out, bro. What are we doing?
He thought that by killing him, he's gonna make the believers submit.
No! He thought that by killing him, and also killing the rest of the leadership, and also by killing...
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says he will not send people to fight an unlawful action in another country because he's too busy allowing all kinds of unlawful actions in his own country. What the fuck?
Abilities of bombing us, you'd stop fucking bombing us. All right, which is a pretty valid point. All right, no one's trying to get people in a death cult to stop believing in a death cult because a couple of people in the death cult died. No, I don't think these people understand anything.
And make them hopeless. However,
no, we don't want you to be hopeless. We want you to be powerless. There's a pretty big difference.
We're gonna continue on the path of Sayyid Ali Khamenei.
Dude is literally saying we're gonna continue on the path of the guy that chants death to America. We're gonna continue on the path of the guy that has killed tens of thousands of his own people, hundreds of thousands of people in surrounding countries. We're going to continue the path, says a professor in a college in Michigan.
We're going to hold his blood, his ideology. We're going to learn it and teach it to our children and grandchildren.
When are we going to acknowledge that this is a problem? When are we going to acknowledge that we have a major issue in our country?
Yeah. These are crazy times. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie. I thought that would be more about Hasan Piker, but look, things are getting nuts. I'm going to try to do a few more things gaming related. I am going to be streaming Resident Evil 9 as Peter, as Leon Kennedy. And also Stewie as the girl, as always. But it's a lot of fun. I cannot praise it enough. Is it my favorite? No, I think 4 still holds, especially for the 4 remake. Mostly because now if it releases a Mercenaries mode, then I could see it at least being a close competitor for my favorite. But it is definitely up there. I would say probably still second place, maybe third. But definitely play it if you can. It is one of the games that's $70. Unfortunately, but you know. But that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go and head out to work. I want to thank you all for coming by. We've been keeping consistent. We haven't grown a whole lot, but we have been keeping consistent thanks to my regulars and a few strays who have are slowly becoming regulars. I appreciate all of you. But just be careful out there, especially if you're in Texas. It's starting to get crazy down here, especially in southern Texas. But guys, until tomorrow morning, I'm going to be streaming twice tomorrow, once in the morning for the show and once in the evening for that Resident Evil stream. But until next time, take care of yourself. This is Alfie Animus for the Associated Game.